Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Anthony Salas, and on behalf of the American Marketing Association, we're very glad that you could join us for today's webcast sponsored by Cardinal Path and titled Marketer's Guide to Finding the Right Analytics Platform. As part of our continuing efforts to be the most relevant force and voice shaping marketing around the world, the AMA offers a variety of resources, training, and tools to enhance lifelong learning and provide you with valuable information and connections. If you go to ama.org, you'll see a full listing of our upcoming events, both in person and online, and you can also click through the various resources that are available to you. So at your convenience, please do go visit ama.org. And before starting today, just a few quick housekeeping items to go over with you. We are recording the full presentation and we'll make it available to you very soon after, so look for that coming your way. If you have any questions as the presentation goes on, please use the chat feature that you see there to the left of your screen. Any technical questions you might have, you can enter in that area as well, and we'll get to those as quickly as possible. And content-related questions, we do encourage you to enter those as the presentation goes on. We will add those to the list of questions that we'll have, and then we will be addressing them at the end of the formal presentation. And if you can join us today on Twitter, we would appreciate your engagement at hashtag MeasureSolutionsForYou, and that's Measure Solutions, the number 4, and then the letter U. And you see that currently on your screen, so please join us there. Send out some tweets as the presentation goes on. Now it is my pleasure to introduce our speaker joining us today. We're being joined by David Ekman, who is the co-founder and senior partner with Cardinal Path. And building partnerships with best-in-class technology vendors including Adobe, Google, Tableau, and many others, Dave ensures that Cardinal Path is constantly ahead of the curve to provide industry leadership and advise clients in their quest to compete and win on digital. So needless to say, with all that great experience, Dave has a lot of insights that he's going to be sharing with you today. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to him to start today's presentation.
Great. Thank you, Anthony. And thanks for having me on for this webinar today. As Anthony mentioned, we're going to talk about finding the right digital analytics platform for your organization. We're going to cover an overview of some of the platforms out there, and then some of the things that you should be considering as you look to assess your current platform and others that are out in the marketplace. Often when clients come to us and others ask us, what's the right platform for my organization? We get this type of question a lot, and since we aren't a technology vendor, clients feel we're a good place to start because we can provide a less biased opinion. We also have hundreds of clients' engagements that have taught us how to approach the selection of an analytics platform. And something to really look at is that not necessarily any of these tools can be ranked from best to worst in an easy way. The perfect fit is really going to be less about comparing a tool and more about what's right for your organization. To make that comparison, you really need to understand the requirements and needs of your business, but also the platforms themselves. So we're going to walk through that overview of a couple of them in turn and then cover off some of the others that may be worth looking at as well. And this is by no means a complete review of each platform, but it's designed to get you thinking about what's important to you and your business and to get you on the right path by providing a high-level overview of the platforms and some of the things to consider. So to start things off, we're just going to start with a quick poll and ask you, what are the platforms that you're already using? And we'll put this out there for just a few seconds here, 15 seconds or 20 seconds, and then we'll take a look at the results. Great. So it looks like most of the results are in. I'm going to close the poll here. And as you can see, well, being a free platform, Google Analytics Standard, definitely lots of folks out there using it, but also a good split with Premium, Adobe Analytics, and some of the other platforms. So this is really interesting and does give us some perspective as we talk through some of the options for today. And sure enough, one of the first ones I want to talk about is Google Analytics Standard. This is the free version of Google Analytics. So might refer to this just as GA as we go through, as short for Google Analytics. And it's a free tool, very popular, probably the most used digital analytics platform in the world. But just because it's free doesn't necessarily mean it's a weak analytics tool. There are many valuable features to meet the needs of its users. And Google's done a great job developing this since they acquired Urchin a number of years ago. But free does still have a price, and you do want to consider that. If you want it working properly, you'll either need internal resources or to pay for services to get it implemented properly and to really make full use of the platform once you do have it deployed. Due to its free status, though, there are many knowledgeable GA users in the marketplace, making it that much easier to find and hire those resources. And Google themselves provides a training program called Analytics Academy to help get users up to speed with using the platform, along with Cardinal Path's own classroom and online live training programs. GA also integrates well with other popular Google products. Webmaster Tools and AdWords are examples, and there are many third-party tools that have developed integrations for e-commerce, marketing automation, testing, email marketing, and more. As an example, Optimizely is a tool for testing and personalization, where you can push your content version information into GA and then analyze that against the range of metrics and dimensions available in the platform, augmenting the type of analysis that you can do in Optimizely itself. But just be aware that not all third-party integrations are created equal, and you'll want to evaluate each of these individually to ensure they meet your needs. And though GA can be accessible to the new user, it also has many advanced features, such as multi-channel funnels that allow you to gain an understanding of the various touch points that users take on their path to conversion or their path to purchase, or the attribution modeling tool, which allows you to create weighted attribution models to help gain a deeper understanding of how each of your marketing channels actually works to drive users to conversion. Combined with the AdWords integration, you can also leverage GA to create remarketing audiences that can be pushed into AdWords. This is very powerful, where you can use all of the dimensions and metrics in Google Analytics to create a list of users, basically a segment of users, that then you can target with very specific types of ads. So think of users that have added to cart and then abandoned and not checked out. You can remarket your ads to those users to try and get them to come back and finish their checkout. And this also limits the extra tagging you typically might need to do in AdWords, because now you've already got this tagging in GA. You can leverage that to create these lists. So next on the list I wanted to cover here was GA Premium. And I'm going to just give an overview of a few of these platforms, and then we'll talk about some of the other considerations. GA Premium has all the benefits of GA Standard, plus many more. One of the keys is that you have higher hit limits. So with GA Premium, their tiered model starts at 1 billion hits per month versus 10 million for Standard. You also get more custom dimensions and metrics, 200 custom metrics and 200 custom dimensions versus only 20 of each in Standard. One of the big ones that many of our enterprise clients really like is the higher sampling threshold. Sampling is a really big reason that these organizations move from GA Standard to Premium. In Standard, you get reports being sampled when there are over 500,000 sessions or visits in a report. And when you start segmenting or filtering those, GA and moving away from the default reports, GA starts to add the sampling in. In GA Premium, this is raised to 50 million sessions in the user interface, and Google's been constantly raising that bar. So I expect this to keep rising over time. You can also access this unsampled data through exports in the interface and an unsampled API. They also take their attribution and modeling tool to the next level by adding data-driven attribution. And this is where Google's applying their machine learning to your converting and non-converting paths of the users on your sites and on your digital properties, along with any imported cost data from Google or other sources to help you make better decisions about where to invest your marketing resources. GA Premium also offers many native integrations, and they're adding more all the time. Currently, there are direct integrations with DoubleClick across Campaign Manager, Bid Manager, Double Search. One of the big advantages of these is you actually get impression and view-through data imported into GA. So somebody sees your ads and might not click, but later visits your website. You're able to see that as part of that path to conversion. If you leverage DoubleClick for your digital marketing, these integrations can make GA Premium a very compelling offer. Premium also offers additional ways to deal with data sampling and get access to hit-level data. They have a BigQuery export, which is part of Google's cloud platform. BigQuery is like a large table-based database that you can query extremely fast for large amounts of data. And they will push hit-level data from GA into BigQuery. And now you can start leveraging that to integrate with other data sources, such as point-of-sale systems or almost anything else that you would like. It's powerfully fast and a great way to start really diving into your data for those more advanced users. Custom tables also allow you to create custom unsampled reports within the interface. So as a premium customer, if you're still hitting that 50 million sampling limit, you can leverage custom tables to actually remove that from reports that you access regularly. And as a premium customer, you get access to early features and a chance to provide input and feedback into the development of upcoming features. And all of this is backed by a service level agreement that covers both Google Analytics and Google Tag Manager, so that you know the tool is there when you need it and provides for financial compensation if it's not. So a couple short cases of clients that have used this. First Dibs is an online luxury retailer. They knew they'd have to advance their digital maturity in order to grow their business, and they brought us in to help them establish some KPIs and do strategic planning. We worked with them to deploy a custom solution that included much of the Google stack, Google Analytics Premium, with Universal Analytics, their enhanced e-commerce, the BigQuery integration, and Google Tag Manager. Informed by analytics, their paid media campaigns had a 47% lift in transactions and big gains in overall return on ad spend. Their data-driven approach to email marketing strategies led to a 34% increase in email click-through rate. And with a deeper understanding of the overall path to purchase across devices, they've increased conversions by 24%. It's been really great for them. US Cellular is another example. US Cellular moved from another platform to Google Analytics Premium in a bid to do more with their digital marketing and leverage their large volume of customer data, both current and historical. By integrating GA data with BigQuery and some of their other back-end customer data, US Cellular was able to get improved insights into how digital was driving purchases, and were able to reclassify a large percentage of their offline activation as being attributed to the online channel. This was extremely valuable because, as the digital team found, a large percentage of their customers was researching online, but only a very small percent actually sign up for phones online or sign up for a new plan. And so it was really hard for them to actually attribute all of these purchases back to the digital channel where they were investing in marketing. Well, with this type of integration with BigQuery and combining with their back-end data, they were now able to prove the value of their digital channels. Adobe Analytics is another great platform and another very popular platform, particularly in the North America market. Adobe Analytics, when integrated with other pieces of the Adobe Marketing Cloud, can be like having a Ferrari parked in your driveway. It can be costly, and it requires specific skills to run and maintain, but it's got lots of power. And with the right driver behind the wheel and a team to back them up, it can provide an arsenal of insights that can drive value for your business. The core reports and analytics tool is great, but for the experienced user, it's the Adobe Analytics ad hoc analysis that really makes the tool shine. Ad hoc analysis provides this very powerful segmentation analysis that can provide an ability to do a deeper level of analysis within the Adobe interface than is currently possible in tools like GA, unless you were to export through BigQuery and use other third-party tools. Combined with Adobe Segment Builder, you can really get to the data and insights you desire. Adobe Analytics also has many integrations to third-party platforms through data connectors. Many are straightforward integrations, while others can be more complicated. But there's many of them out there, and for enterprises and small medium businesses, there's lots of opportunity there to leverage those to improve your analytics. And core services can help you tie it all together. This includes things like Dynamic Tag Manager to tag your site, and segment sharing, where you can share segments across each piece of the Marketing Cloud. Adobe Analytics also integrates with the rest of the Adobe Marketing Cloud. Combined with their core services, you can identify segments in your analytics and use those to target tests or personalized content in Adobe Target. You could then push those same segments to Audience Manager and do retargeting, or push those into Adobe Campaign and send a follow-up email, all while keeping the messaging consistent for that user or group of users. This can be very powerful. The Marketing Cloud consists of a robust set of products. You've got Adobe Experience Manager, which manages the content for your digital assets. It's much more than just a content management system. You've got Adobe Analytics, as we know, covers the measurement of those digital assets. Adobe Target enables testing and personalization to ensure you're providing the best experience possible. Adobe Campaign allows you to manage your cross-channel marketing efforts, including through email and SMS messaging. This can allow for a really complex set of rules to nurture your prospects and leads and turn them into customers. Adobe Audience Manager offers both a data management platform and a paid marketing tool. And Adobe Social is your social media management hub. And new this year is Primetime. This is new, and it assists with the creation and management of your video assets. So when you start looking at leveraging multiple parts of the Adobe stack, and you really start taking advantage of each feature or features in each part of the platform you are using, you'll find this improved efficiency and almost exponential increase in value as you add these other pieces. So that 1 + 1 doesn't necessarily make 2. It could make 3 or 4. The integrations between these tools can really help drive more and more value as you start leveraging them. So another case study and example here is Western Union. They redeployed their own Adobe Analytics solution to get more business value. They brought us in, Cardinal Path, to help them build out a measurement framework based on business needs, and then translate that into an Adobe Analytics deployment. This implementation was then augmented with a two-way data integration with their Eloqua CRM platform that allowed them to retarget their users through email, along with creating custom segments in Adobe Analytics that were passed to Target and then leveraged for targeted testing opportunities. This was very powerful for them, and again, was another way to start connecting the dots between their platform to provide consistent messaging and content to drive more conversions on their digital platforms. But Adobe and Google aren't the only players out there. And though they're very popular in North America, there's many, many more. As an example, just a few could include IBM, Piwik, WebTrends, Angelfish, all kinds of different options for you. In addition, you might have Localytics, Mixpanel. There's a number of them out there. IBM was a front runner for years, particularly with e-commerce. And they've now integrated the analytics platform into their own marketing suite called IBM Marketing and Merchandising. WebTrends has also been around for quite some time, and it's one of the only original vendors that is not being purchased or amalgamated into a larger platform. They offer a real-time data streaming service which allows for real-time marketing automation, personalization, and retargeting. Piwik is a free open source tool that provides the option to host the data yourself or pay to have it hosted in their cloud hosting environment. And Angelfish is another on-premise solution that can read your server's log files, but it also has the ability to leverage tagging from Google Analytics and Google's old on-premise solution, Urchin. Those are just some of the options that you might look at while you're assessing various vendors. And when you look across Google Analytics, GA Premium, and Adobe Analytics, you may find that Google Analytics is great for budget-conscious organizations or those that just don't have the traffic to justify something like GA Premium or Adobe Analytics. Also, those AdWords advertisers just getting started with data and analytics, the integration between AdWords and GA can be very powerful, be a way to take that AdWords advertising to the next level without adding significant overhead and cost. Premium. So for those clients on GA standards that are hitting limits or they're having problems with sampling, GA Premium is a great next step. And those that also leverage the DoubleClick platform for your advertising. The integrations with DoubleClick add a lot of value. And we've seen significant wins for our clients. When you look at Adobe Analytics, this is a great platform for data mature organizations. But you do want to have some skilled resources to leverage it. When you move to these paid platforms, whether GA Premium or Adobe, you want to make sure you have the people that are going to help you get the value out of your investment. And when you also are looking at Adobe and thinking of leveraging other Marketing Cloud features, this can really start adding more value to the Adobe and Adobe Analytics need for your organization. Every analyst has an opinion on which product is the best, but keep in mind that the one they write the best may not be the best for you. Here, you can look at the last Forrester Wave for Web Analytics in Q2 2014, and you'll see that Forrester rated Adobe #1 with IBM and Web Trends in hot pursuit. And then Google is actually quite a ways back, doing well, moving along, but still quite a ways back. And yet, you move over to Trust Radius, and you can see that Google outranks everyone else in both midsize and enterprise categories, moving up to that top right. So it just goes to show you that everyone has a different opinion on which platform is right. And it's important for you to know what's right for your business. So how can you actually start taking those steps to do that? Well, the truth is if you're thinking about changing analytics platforms, you probably aren't happy or confident with the way you are currently collecting data. And that might have nothing to do with the platform you're using. It may just be the way you've configured the tool. By auditing and updating your implementation, you may be able to actually really harness the power of the platform you have in place and avoid some of those switching costs. But there's some keys to success here. You want to make sure that you're capturing KPIs and metrics that align to overall business goals and objectives. Many stakeholders in your organization may name off a number of metrics they want to track, but ask them why. Ask them why they want to capture that piece of data and what will they do with that data once they have it. If they can't easily answer that question, you may consider moving these a little down the priority list. You also want to make sure you have a set of trained users, both from the technical and business sides of the organization. Some or all of these people may be sourced through agencies, or they may be internal. But it's important to have knowledgeable, trained users that can help you extract value from whatever platform you have in place or are putting in place. A poor implementation is the most often case we see from our clients of why they don't trust their data, because they didn't actually have somebody that really understood the tool to implement it. And so they never actually have the data coming out of it the way that they would like and the way that makes sense to them. You also want to think carefully before making the switch to an entirely different platform. There are costs involved with this. And though there may be opportunities that outweigh those costs, you still want to carefully consider. Switching analytics platforms can take time and money, and it's not an easy task. You'll likely have to redo data integration, and you may even lose access to your historical data. In addition, any ongoing and reporting and dashboards you have that are related to your existing platform will likely have to be redone. And if no one is familiar with the new platform, you'll also have to get a training program in place. This starts getting big. But this can also be a great opportunity. When making a switch or even doing a re-implementation of your existing platform, it's an opportunity to reevaluate your entire strategy towards data and digital analytics and really do it right by putting together a formal plan and governance model. This may also allow you to do a broader re-architecting, making it possible to integrate your digital analytics with even more data sources to help move your organization towards a more complete view of your customers. So, when you start looking at this, there's a few things to consider and check off as you begin down this path. Talk to key stakeholders throughout your organization. Get an understanding of what activities they're trying to do and what's important to them over the long term, and turn this information into requirements and KPIs. This should include all levels of stakeholders, as each user will have these different areas that are important to them. Make sure you are covering these people and prioritize the items that are strategically important to the business. Map these KPIs and requirements into key selection criteria for a platform. This can often be a good place to involve an outside party that has done this before. Cardinal Path is often brought in for vendor selection. These folks will be able to come up with all kinds of important criteria, in addition to the specific items related to your business, as they tend to work with all these different platforms. And very important, ensure you've got the right people on the boat. You need both buy-in internally, but you also need the talent to execute on the vision. If not, you need to look at either providing training or bringing on the folks that will get you to your goal. And now that you've sort of covered the basics, you're ready to map the various vendors against your selection criteria. With the top contenders, do that against the cost of the platform itself. And don't forget to consider all those associated costs that we talked about. There's salaries of the people you'll need to run the platform. Experts from some vendors can be more expensive than experts on others. There's training costs. And then, of course, the cost to implement the new platform. That's all in addition to the actual cost of the tool itself. And if you make it through all that and are ready to move forward, you might want to consider running both platforms together for a period of time. This will help you baseline your new platform against the old platform. The data will be different. It will not exactly match. So this will help you know that the reason something went up or down was due to the platform change, not something else, and help you provide those new baselines so that you know that one metric is consistently up 3% than it was in the other platform. So I hope you found this a valuable starting point for any potential vendor selection you do and have gained some information you'll be able to walk away with and use in your business. When considering a new digital analytics platform, there are some key takeaways to remember. Always map your business objectives and KPIs and identify any long-term goals and how you want to leverage your data. This is a key step that should be done early in the process. Don't guess at what these are. Talk to people around the organization, any key stakeholder in the data. You'll find this to be a good exercise, one that will provide you with a lot of insight into what's important across different areas of the business. And by understanding your business and stakeholder needs further, you're going to be able to much better select a platform that works for you. Don't jump to conclusions and assume you need to switch platforms because the one you have just doesn't seem to be working right. Take a look at whether getting your existing platform updated and capturing the data you want in the right way may be all that is needed. And don't just take the cost of the platform into account. Make sure you are incorporating all the associated costs. There are definite switching costs when you make these changes. And when you move forward with developing a plan, take the opportunity to step back and really look at things from a different perspective. or to bring someone in to help provide that perspective. This is your opportunity for a fresh start. So I'd like to thank you all very much for your time today. I've really enjoyed the opportunity to speak with all of you and walk through this, and hope I've given you all some ideas on what is required when selecting a platform for your business. Anthony, I'm going to toss it back to you now so we can take some questions.
Great. Thank you so much, David. We do have a number of questions that have come in. Just a quick reminder to everyone, though, if you do still have a question for David, use that chat feature there to the left of your screen, enter it, and we'll add it to our list of questions. So with that, let's go ahead and move into our first question for you, which is in regards to just data collection. How much data should someone have before they consider upgrading from a free analytics solution?
So you're going to start seeing some typical challenges with the analysis that you're doing. In Google Analytics, they have a stated limit for the free standard version of 10 million hits per month. Now, typically, you'll see that they will collect data past that point. But as you get more and more data, you'll find that the processing time takes longer. Sampling becomes much more of an issue. When you're having sampled data and you see that this report is sampled, we're basing our report on 2% of the data, that's not a good thing. Can you really trust when somebody's showing you a report based on 2% of the data that it's accurate? Not really. And when your data limits start going beyond 10 million and that processing time takes longer, with really large sites, you could see that taking 48 or even 72 hours before you start seeing the data in your reports. And in today's day and age, when real time is becoming more and more important, that can become a real challenge.
Great, thank you so much. Have some questions we've kind of put together here, all in regards to the Adobe Analytics platform here, so kind of grouping these together. First one here from Andrew wants to know, is the personalization, would you consider that to be across channel, so including email, web, mobile, ads, as well as content?
So Adobe Target itself is primarily web and mobile, and it will you can create rules-based personalization, and then its more advanced version, the premium version of that tool, actually has machine learning that will do self-optimizations over time. What you can do, though, is combined with the personalization of Adobe Target, you can also leverage Adobe's segment builder to share segments across other areas of the tool to start providing that consistent personalization. So if I have a set of users that have abandoned my cart, I can target content to them when they come to my website through Target, but I can also retarget some display ads to them. I could share that segment with Campaign and send out emails targeted to that group of users. So it does allow you to do that cross-channel personalization, and it's all really tied to those shared segments.
All right, thank you. Next question for you from Katie, and again sticking with Adobe. She wants to know if Adobe Analytics provides ad serving as well, or is it only organization and collection of data?
Their Adobe Media Optimizer tool, they tend to have the partnerships with the ad serving. The ad side is not my specialty with Adobe, I'll be honest with you. That is our digital marketing team actually does work with that tool a fair bit. But typically you are purchasing the tool where it's like a double click, and then it is working out through other ad serving platforms.
All right. Question from Anya, again on Adobe. Would you ever see a large enterprise adopting the Adobe Experience Manager and Target, but not Adobe Analytics? And then she's also, question here is integrating with an older version of WebTrends instead.
Yes, we've seen all kinds of different ways that happens. Adobe Experience Manager is definitely an extremely powerful platform in the way it can manage your digital assets. So we see a lot of clients using that and then having different tools that they're using, whether for analytics or other things. So it definitely happens. One of the things when you look at having Experience Manager and Target, that's great. You can target content on the site and you can leverage Target. But you're definitely missing some of that integration by not having analytics. Because with analytics, you can really augment it with that shared segmentation.
All right, thanks for responding to that one. Moving on now, question from Jessica in regards to Google Analytics here. She wants to know or know a little bit more about data-driven attribution and whether or not this is something that is available within Google Analytics standard.
Data-driven attribution is not available within standard. They have the attribution modeling tool where you can manually create different models and assess what's right for that channel or for your business as a whole. Data-driven attribution modeling is only available in Premium.
All right, and another question, kind of sticking with Google Analytics here from Katie. Is the premium version the only platform that combines both Google Analytics and double-click metrics? She says she constantly struggles to integrate the two, but clients may not want to upgrade to the premium version.
So as far as incorporating directly the metrics and auto-importing them in, yes, GA Premium, the only version of GA that does that. You can definitely leverage Google's, with the GA standard, you can leverage Google's built-in campaign tracking. So you can start leveraging campaign tracking with their UTM parameters, they're called, within your DoubleClick platform to start seeing the click-throughs of various campaigns. But you won't get that impression and view-through data. To get that, you'd have to use the DoubleClick reporting and make sure that you implement floodlight tags on your website.
All right, thank you. Next question for you from Evan. His question is, if you're a startup, should you immediately jump into joining an analytics platform, or would it be better, or would you suggest that an individual waits until you know you're getting a steady stream of hits?
I always recommend the sooner you get something on there, the better. And if you're not sure of what platform's right for you, even just putting the very basic Google Analytics tag across your site can add value. And highly recommend that the way that you do that would be to actually deploy it through Google Tag Manager, because Google Tag Manager offers a variety of ways to very easily add new features so that you don't actually have to go back and keep updating the actual tag on the website. You can do that all through an interface. But highly recommend that even just getting the basic Google Analytics tag across your site adds value off the bat, because you'll start actually being able to see some trends. You could link that up with AdWords if you're doing any advertising. Set a few goals within the platform. There's all kinds of value it can provide early on that could actually help you change the content and structure of your website to be better.
All right, great. Thank you so much. Let's see. Next question from Carlton. Question is, in preparation for budgeting for cost-based analytics, how would you suggest one goes about creating a reasonable budget?
Well, one of those things first is that depending on the pricing for these paid tools is definitely going to be different depending on the size of your site, the volume of hits, how you're going to use the tool. So from a costing perspective, you have to look at that. But actually budgeting things out, though, and looking at where do I spend my money, the first place you want to spend the money is on the people. If you don't have the people to use the tool, then it's useless. And so paying for a great platform but not having anybody who can use it is going to give you negative ROI. So if you're not going to have the budget to actually have somebody sitting in your team for depending on the size of your organization, it may be somebody that's only a quarter or half time, but dedicating some resources to your analytics and also paying for a tool, the Google Analytics might be a great start for you. And you'd look at budgeting first for those resources that you're paying for internally from a staffing perspective. Hopefully that helps with answering the question. When you took at the actual cost of the tools, that's where you actually want to actually talk to these various vendors, and they can assess that with you based on your volume of traffic.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Just another quick reminder, if you still got questions, use that chat feature there to the left of your screen, and we'll keep adding them to what we have here. So with that next question for you, coming in from Melanie, and she wants to know at what point in terms of monthly traffic should a company consider switching to Analytics or Google Analytics Premium in order to avoid data sampling?
If you want, so data sampling will occur not necessarily monthly. It basically occurs on the just size of each report you run. So if you're running, typically your reports are monthly, you'll start seeing sampling when your reports, it's custom reports. So when you add a segment or you add a filter, when you have a custom report that is more than 500,000 sessions. But some customers we work with will hit that in less than a day. Some will hit that in a 6 month, or won't even hit that in 6 months or a year. So for yourself, it's when you start seeing sampling at 80%, you're still doing fine. There's lots of algorithms that are going to handle that just fine. When you start seeing sampling getting much lower, then you really do want to consider about either adjusting how you do your reporting and using shorter time periods and combining that data together, or that's where you might want to look at GA Premium.
Excellent. Well, David, I want to thank you so much for all this great information over the last hour. It's been really insightful, and really appreciate you spending the time with us. So thank you so much for being here.
You bet, Anthony. Thank you for having me. It's been great, and hope everybody found it valuable.
Great. Thanks so much. And just a couple of quick reminders to everyone as we conclude today's webcast. As I mentioned at the beginning, we are recording this full presentation, and we'll be making it available to you very soon, so look for that coming your way. To those of you that were on Twitter today, we really appreciate your engagement there. If you weren't able to join, you could still go after the webcast and engage in the conversation at #MeasureSolutions, the number 4, and then the letter U, so 4U. And here in just a moment, we're going to redirect you to a post-webcast survey page. If you would take a moment or two, let us know what you thought of today's webcast, and then also let us know what other topics you want to see presented on future AMA webcasts. We really value that information and try to make sure we're providing you with the information you're looking for. So if you would take a moment and do that, we'd really appreciate it. So I want to extend a big thank you to Cardinal for sponsoring this webcast, as well as to ReadyTalk for providing the platform that we used. And if you would like to learn more about ReadyTalk and their services, you can go to readytalk.com/AMA. Last, of course, I want to thank you, the audience, for sharing an hour from your busy day with us. We certainly hope you found this information helpful, and we look forward to seeing you again very soon on another AMA Thought Leader webcast. That does end our presentation for today. Thanks again for joining, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.